Assalamu alaikum. Rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Y'all know what it is. Another late night session. Alhamdulillah. So what we're gonna talk about is, and this isn't only for the new shahadas, but this is something that should benefit them and as well as other people. So we're gonna kind of talk about the beginning stages of Islam, certain ways that the Quran was revealed, and we're going to refute some claims. So, brother hit me up. So, in one of my videos, I stated that how you have people who say that the Rasul only taught Tawheed. Some say 10 years, some say 13 years. Only taught Tawheed for the first 10 or 13 years. And then some, the best of them will say the Rasul only taught Aqidah for the first 10 or 13 years. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So basically, another brother, like I always say, go talk to the people you're around, that's in your masjid, and, do your Google, whatever, then come back with me. So basically, somebody told them, whoever made that statement is an imbecile. So y'all already know who talk like that. He's an imbecile, he's an idiot, he's not known, he shouldn't be listened to. Everybody know that the Rasul only taught Tawheed for the first 13 years of the deen. So alhamdulillah. So what we going to do, and this is something that I usually start new shahadas off with this early. If it ain't the very first lesson, it be in the top 3. So this is something that I'll already do, because it need to be known. So I'm not doing it for the purposes of them saying I'm an imbecile and I don't understand, even though I showed in the video how Aqidah was taught, because there was more stuff that was taught, but I just said how it was more than just Aqidah. But tonight, with this lesson that I always do, is going to prove that. Alright, so another thing, before we get to the lessons, y'all know how it is, man. We got to wait on a couple of people, man. We're in different time zones, so they getting, they papers and pads and, getting their little families, getting their wife up and stuff, We in different time zones, you know what I'm saying? So, like, right now, it's like 12:43 a.m. So, so that means it's like 1:40 for some people. You know what I'm saying? That's an hour ahead of me. So, so they almost ready, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, and my other video that I just did about the 2 rakats of greeting the masjid, and see if y'all see the brother who commented in my comments, alhamdulillah, I'm glad he commented, because it proved what I was saying. He made a comment, there's no praying during the salat. And that's why I be telling, because see, some people think I just be talking, or they think that I be, people who live here, for some strange reason, when I talk about stuff, they automatically think I'm throwing shots at the people here or them. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just making up something to dig into them. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, not for that to be neither here nor there. So when I was saying certain things that you will see, I've been to different masjids all over, not just here. So these things that I see, and like I said, because people, now here I've seen people drive on people if they didn't make it, but they don't drive on the foreigners. Now I have seen that a lot here. I used to be heavily involved with the masjid for years. You know what I'm saying? So I seen a lot over the years. So he made a comment. There's no praying during the khutbah. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I was saying in the video. Sometimes you might drive on a person. We do 2 rakats. You'll bid'ah, the Rasul and them, this and that. But you never know the understanding that they have. Because the Hanafi madhab and the Maliki madhab, they both say it's not permissible to do. Now, the person who made the comment, I don't know if he follow a madhab or not, but he may have just been informed by somebody that have been informed by somebody, we don't do that, it's not permissible. So then, he asked the question, why is it that Imam Shafi'i and Imam Abu Hanifa, may Allah be pleased with both of them, why is it that they disagreed with Imam Shafi'i and Imam Hanbali? Now for me, this is the part with the madhabs, that this is a personal thing for me that I don't like. Sometimes people make like the madhabs is the begin all and end all. So it shouldn't be, why do they disagree with Imam Shafi'i and Imam Hanbali? Because Imam Shafi'i and Imam Hanbali didn't make the ruling. This came directly from the tongue of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Have you prayed? No. Get up and pray. So the brother had already sat down. Get up, do 2 rakats, but make them light. Okay? Because the khutbah does have precedence. So at this point, you could look at it as it's a direct commandment for that one person, because he said it to him. But then he also said, after he told him make them light, he also said, and if any of you, anybody in this masjid, carry this on, inform everybody else. If any of you enter a masjid or anywhere, not just this one, anywhere you go, and teach this to the people. If any of you enter a masjid and the imam is giving the khutbah for Jumu'ah prayer, do 2 rakats, but make them light, make them brief. But see, everybody don't know what 2 light rakats is. Make them light. So this is a commandment. No ifs, ands, buts, or maybes. You understand? So, like I said, that's why I be showing the scholars of Hadith, the scholars of Usul, the scholars of Fiqh. They all have a different definition of what the Sunnah is. Some feel like anything that is a Sunnah, you have a choice whether you want to do it or not. But when the Rasul gives you a commandment like that, what that mean? You have to do it. So the thing that make me mad about the madhabs is not that they disagreeing with Imam Shafi'i and Imam Hanbali. They disagreeing with the Rasul. But like I said, I am aware that the way the times was, there were certain hadiths and things that hadn't reached them. So it's possible they made that ruling based off this hadith hadn't reached them yet. You see what I'm saying? And one thing about Shafi'i and Imam Hanbali, and the criticism that they get from the Hanafis and the Malikis is that they was people of hadith. They didn't understand fiqh. So what you see in a lot of Shafi'i and what you see in a lot of Hanbali, you see Madden for it. You text. Madden mean text. You actually see the hadiths and stuff. So Shafi'i and Hanbali, the ruling is in their madhab because they're going based off the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You understand? So that's the begin all and end all. The Rasul said it, he commanded it. But like I said, I don't drive on people because I know to understand it. Just like when I see people and they sitting up doing 2 rakats like they in Fajr. You know what I'm saying? They might be standing up there 5 minutes. And then when they get done, they doing all this while the khutbah is going. But I know, because I know how the deen is passed along. We do 2 rakats. Nobody told them they got to make it light. Nobody taught them how to make 2 light rakats. But unfortunately, some people fight over this. Some people might go to the masjid and they might be Maliki and nobody does it. They might declare that masjid they innovators. That's a masjid of bid'ah. You can't salam anybody who went there. You understand? If you get caught talking to somebody who attend that masjid, you an innovator. See, if some people go overboard like that. I just feel bad for the people who don't know to do 2 light rakats, and then there's some people like in this city, they starting to feel like you always correcting them. So when they are you looking for something bad because they starting to harbor, or you just looking for bad in people, oh you doing this and that. But then when I ain't around or other people ain't around, they going up to other people trying to correct them. So sometimes people just get you to the point where you can't say nothing to them no more. So all right, Sheikh, alhamdulillah. So we ready. But I'm glad he asked that question so that, especially like I say, people who live here that be harboring and thinking I just be making up stuff to shoot shots at these 2 masjids here. Right? Like that brother said in the comment. Because you can come across some people from the Hanafi madhab, the Maliki madhab, they gonna say it's not permissible to do. Although there's a hadith. So when it starts boiling down to dalil, what's dalil? They're going to have to trace their statements to that madhab. But when you trace the statements all the way to the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's extremely clear. Numerous hadiths on what the Rasul commanded us to do. So what the Quran ayat say, when the Rasul give you something, when the Rasul inform you or command you to do something, you do it. And when he commands you to stay away something, to do away, don't do it, to stay away from it, then you stay away from it, you don't do it. We're not going to get into the ones who, well, hadiths ain't reliable, hadiths is this, I don't need all that. I seen the text. I know it say make them light. I'm rocking off that. You know what I'm saying? So alhamdulillah. But, shout out to that brother, man, No ill feel. Like I said, I'm glad he asked that question because, like I said, you can come across people that will say it's not permissible because 2 madhabs say it's not permissible. And, some of the dalil, like I say, what they use as dalil is there's certain companions like Umar, Ali, they say that it's not permissible. And like what I'm saying is I ain't never came across those statements from them. But it's a lot of books I haven't read. I've never came across statements from them. I don't know any students that came across statements from them. The only thing is I seen where they said that some of the companions, this was their opinion, but it don't never show where these companions said it at. And I know that happens a lot where people attribute, where people who be up on certain type of things, they're attributed to other people to give it validity. So, but it don't matter. I seen a hadith. It's clear. I know what the Rasul said. That's what I'm rocking with. So, alhamdulillah. So, let's get into this lesson. And this is a very beneficial lesson, inshallah ta'ala. And it's going to refute the claims of individuals who say that only Tawheed was taught, only Aqidah was taught. And this is going to help you. Let me write it down. Y'all everybody got their pens and papers and stuff, right? Because y'all going to want to take a few notes on this. Inshallah ta'ala. So, let's write this down. There's a difference between reading the Quran and studying the Quran. Okay? Huge difference. Let's throw that up there at the top. There's a huge difference, right? Let me set it up here. There's a huge difference between reading the Quran and studying the Quran. So this is going to help y'all try to understand how to study the Quran. Y'all know what it is. 1 second, man. Let me go turn this big one off before it starts going off. I'm going to pause it for the YouTube. Excuse me, Daki. Okay, alhamdulillah. You know, y'all know what it is. Time for Qiyam al-Layl. So, studying, the big difference between studying and reading the Quran, right? So this will help y'all kind of learn how to study the Quran. And it's going to refute a lot of things. So, in your Quran, you have 86 surahs. 86 surahs revealed in Mecca. So you have 86 surahs that was revealed in Mecca. You have 28 surahs that was revealed in Medina. So we're going to pause for 1 second. 86 surahs revealed in Medina. Now, 28 surahs, Astaghfirullah, 86 surahs revealed in Mecca. 28 surahs revealed in Medina. Out of 86 surahs, do you think that the Rasul didn't talk about anything other than Tawheed? Now, some of the mistake in this is because some people think Tawheed is the only thing that you could talk about. Tawheed is the only thing you could call people to. But Tawheed wasn't the only thing that the Rasul talked to the people about. So, in 86 surahs, even with just Aqidah, this is going to show. So he was in Medina. Prophethood in Medina was for 13 years. So that means 86 surahs revealed in 13 years. So for the ones who say he only taught Aqidah, and when they say Aqidah, well, the ones who say he only taught Tawheed, we just gonna let them have it. We're not even gonna debate them. Y'all can have it. So when they saying that he only taught Aqidah, they saying Aqidah is belief in Allah, which is Tawheed, belief in the angels, belief in the prophets, belief in the books, belief in the last day, and then belief in the Qadr, right? But then on a bonus from your Quran, we know you got to believe in the pen, and we know you got to believe in the unseen. So these is also things that you have to believe, that's supposed to be in your belief system. Okay, so do we know that in some of these, in these 86 surahs in these 13 years, the Rasul discussed law, Sharia. The Rasul discussed manners, character, religion, and deen. Okay? The Rasul discussed all of these things. So that's more than Tawheed. That's more than Aqidah. Okay? So what we're going to come to is, now we're going to come to your 5 pillars. So you got Shahada. So starting off with your Salah, there was no Salah for 11 and a half years. A year and a half before they made Hijrah, that's when the 5 daily Salats came in. So 11 and a half years there was no salat. For 15 years and some months there was no mandatory zakat, and there was no mandatory fasting for Ramadan. Really like 15 and a half years, because they came into play 2 years and some months after Hijrah, or around 18 months after Hijrah. So we'll cloak it at 15 years. So that means they went to Medina after 13 years and being in Mecca. So 18 months to 2 years after being in Medina, zakat and fasting for Ramadan came. Okay? Then Hajj, the mandatory Hajj, came in the 9th or the 10th year after the Hijrah. Alright? So that's pushing it at around 22 years for Hajj. Alright? Now, some scholars differ, because some scholars say 5, some scholars say the 5th year after Hijrah, some say the 6th year after Hijrah. But when you know about Ali Imran, Ayat 397, Surah 3, Ayat 97, this is the ayat that made Hajj obligatory upon the Muslim Ummah. Okay? The rites of Hajj obligatory on the Muslim Ummah. And it was revealed at the end of the 9th year after Hijrah. Now, why am I discussing that? Because for this 13 years, for 11 and a half years, no salat, 15 years, no zakat, no fasting for Ramadan, what was the Rasul teaching? Laws, manners, character, religion, and deen. So what I did was I went through the second surah to be revealed is Al-Qalam, the pen. Sometimes when you know the order, then you could look at it how it was revealed, and you could start to see what was some of the early commandments, what was some of the first things that was being said. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful when you know how to do this. So there's something that I'm leaving off, and I'm going to mention it before we go to this, because a lot of y'all may have never heard this, and some people don't talk about it. I'm going to talk about it, right? And you have to dig into the books of tafsirs like Qurtubi, and then you have to dig into the bigger books of the biography of Rasulullah. This might be some of y'all first time ever hearing this. I discuss it in some of my videos, like when I first started making videos, and it's going to be controversial, although it shouldn't be. And when you dig into the hadiths, they go with it. So, the first 3 years of prophet, the first 3 years of prophethood, guess what? There was no Quran. For the first 3 years of prophethood, there was no Quran. Okay? So when you start to read Tafsir Qurtubi, when I first came across this reading Tafsir Qurtubi, I was like, whoa, wait a minute now. And it had a little bit of some dalil in it. So I had to go to the Sirah. I'm going to show you, and I went and got it so I could show it to the people, right? Arabic and English. This is an English one. So this is the seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? But this one is collected. This one is written by Imam Ibn Kathir. So he didn't write it; he collected it. So this is the life of the Rasul based off of Dalil, by narrations, athar, what's authentic. So when I read it in Tafsir Ibn Kathir, I had to go look at the timeline and look at the biography. And then, of course, I had to go look at the hadiths, right? So, as y'all can see, and I'm going to put it up, like I said, this is the English one, right? And y'all can see where I have it underlined, because a few years ago when I first came across, it was a few years. It's been like maybe about 4 years, going on 5 years, when I first came across this information, reading Tafsir Qurtubi. So I had to go look it up in the biography. So right here in the biography, just to keep it brief, it says that of course the Rasul received this mission when he was 40 years old. Then the angel Israfil, right, was entrusted with him with his prophethood for 3 years, during which he would teach him words and facts. The Quran was not revealed then. And then after 3 years, the angel Jibril was entrusted with his prophethood, and then the Quran started being revealed through his voice over a course of 20 years. So prophethood 23 years, but Quran being revealed 20 years, right? Quran revealed 10 years in Mecca and 10 years in Medina. This is where some people get 10 years of Aqidah and 10 years of Tawheed, instead of saying 13 years, because some is aware, or some of them just repeating what they heard, but some of them is taking off 3 years because there was no Quran. Okay? But like I say, some people just repeating stuff that they heard or may have seen on the internet. Now, so then as it goes on, right? So the chain of authorities, the chain of authorization goes back to Al-Shabi, and this is the correct one. This is the correct isnad. It established that Israfil was entrusted with the Rasul for 3 years before his age of 40, and that Jibril came thereafter when he was 43, right? So Sheikh Shihab al-Din Ubu Shamu, however, has stated Aisha account does not refute this, right? It's possible that first of all he did receive visions, and that Israfil was put in charge of him during that period he spent alone in Hira, right? So as it goes on, so basically, when there's a hadith, there's an athar, it's in Sahih Bukhari, a very long hadith, couple of pages. So you have people who have issues with this hadith because this is something else that y'all may not have heard before. The Rasul actually went to the top of a mountain to commit suicide. Okay? So some people who have an issue with that, they don't like it. They have issues with the whole athar, and it's a lot revealed in it. So, I heard people say, well, Aisha, it's narrated by Aisha. How would she know? She wasn't with him at that time. He was with Khadijah. So they try to discredit it like Aisha wasn't his wife. Like he didn't tell her. She said that he told her. She didn't say she was there. So this is a thing where people start trying to discredit narrations. It's in Sahih Bukhari. It's in other books of hadith. So, but the way that hadith starts off, before she get to where he tried to commit suicide, because the revelations had stopped and he was going through some things. So that's when he wanted to go to the top of the mountain, and he was getting ready to throw himself off the mountain. He was going to jump off a mountain to commit suicide. So she starts the Athar off by saying, in the beginning, the revelations started as like a ringing in his head, or he would have dreams, and then the dreams would come true. Or he would have visions, and then it would really happen. This was Israfil. So that's how the prophethood was started off. So, he was able to talk to and command and teach the people based off of what he was seeing, the dreams coming true and the visions. And that's why he started going to the cave and sitting in the cave and meditating. You know what I'm saying? Trying to collect these visions and figure out what was going on with him. So that's why he was in the cave when the angel Jibril brought the Quran down to him. Now, like I said, because some people never heard this before, some people going to reject it. There's a whole lot of dalil for it. A lot of people, now I know some people, some students of knowledge and different things that teach, they don't discuss it too. I'm going to put it this way. There's certain things that students of knowledge and teachers and people of knowledge, they only talk about with other students. Okay? They don't talk about it to like the regular, what some of them refer to. Some would say a layman, and some would say a regular 9 to 5. So like this is an information that isn't known. If you read Tafsir Qurtubi, you're going to know about it. If you read a lot of the books of Tafsirs, you're going to know about it. If you read biographies that's based off dalil, not like the sealed nectar and different things like that, like real biography, like this right here is like a 4-volume set, right? It's almost like an encyclopedia, but it's used with dalil, change the narration, isnad. So some of them don't talk about it. When you have conversations with them, why y'all don't say nothing? Because they be like, with the community that I'm in, with the city that we in, people will fight over it. Because what you're starting to see is Muslims is starting to fight and disconnect and not talk to each other about a lot of things. So you may just see them say, they'll say, prophethood was for 23 years. Instead of saying, although prophethood was for 23 years, but 3 of it, there was no Quran. They just won't say it. Or they'll say the Quran was revealed over a course of 23 years based off of the community that they in, because they feel like that type of knowledge won't benefit your regular, everyday 9 to 5 layman Muslim, because they'll fight over it. Or they'll start to say, listen what this dummy said, or like what might happen to me, people might jump in my comments or hit me up on Telegram, and they just want to avoid all of that. So I'm throwing that in to bring that in so that you can get a better understanding of the prophethood and figure out what was going on for these first 3 years. So we're going to go to the second surah, and I also want to throw in that the Rasul actually passed away in the 11th year of Hijrah. So some people count it as 24 years, right? But the Quran was completed when he passed away, so they'll get at 23 years. So some would say Quran 23 years, prophethood 24 years, but they don't know when his birthday was, since it wasn't a complete year. But he died he transitioned in the 11th year of Hijrah. So that's why sometimes you will see difference of opinions. So let's go to, I'm just going to use my phone, man, instead of busting out a book. Let's go to the second surah revealed, number 68. Beautiful surah, and I love it because I want to point out something. So this is the second surah to be revealed. Let's see what was in it. Alright? Second surah to be revealed in Medina. So when you go to And I love the way it start off because it's letting the Rasul know that he's on an exalted level of character. And he's not a madman, because this is the things that people started saying once he started letting people know that the Quran was coming down. So his level of character that he was on, just to throw in, and when he discussed, and we supposed to be like him, character was also being taught. So character is what? It's more than Aqidah. It's more than Tawheed. So that's in like the first two ayahs, like ayah number 4, right? And verily you are on an exalted level of character. You truly a man of outstanding character. Then when you look at the hadiths to go with it, like he say, I was sent to perfect moral character. So what was he teaching people? How to have the same characteristics as him. That's more than Aqidah. So when we want to go with surah number 42, right? Let's try to make this quick. Surah number 42, right? Very beautiful. When you come to surah number 42, because this is something that other people, they differ in this. But this is something that you're supposed to believe in, which is a part of Aqidah. So the surah is the pen, where it starts off about the pen, because everybody don't believe in a pen. But everybody don't believe this. So be aware of the day that the shin of Allah, right? The shin of Allah will be bared. Well, Allah is going to show his shin. Now, I'm not finna do like this and say his shin means what this is. I'm not saying that Allah has a human male shin like mine. But this is an ayat in the Quran. Beware of the day when Allah will bare his shin. Right? And they shall be called to prostrate themselves. But the hypocrites, they won't even be able to do it. Now, why is that? Why is we touching that? One, because people who argue about the shin of Allah, not saying that it's literal, not saying that it's human. Some people reject that because of the word shin. This is something this is part of your Aqidah. You have to believe in the shin, even though it's not in that list. Just like the unseen, the pen, and we're gonna put the shin. When Allah bears the shin. So, look what it says though. When Allah bears his shin, and the people are going to be called to prostrate themselves to Allah, but the hypocrites, they won't be able to do it. Right? Their eyes will be downcast, totally covered with disgrace. For they were always called to prostrate in the world when they were fully capable, but they chose not to. You understand? That's a heavy warning. They chose not to. So we're going to put, this is in the beginning. So this is a heavy warning to the Ummah. This is a heavy warning to the Ummah. This is the second surah to be revealed. So you had the Ummah who doing certain things. Allah know what's going on, right? So like right now, you have foreigners, you have African Americans. They don't pray when they supposed to. Some of them don't pray at all. I'm not practicing. Right? They might act like they this type of Muslim. They might do this. They might even come to the masjid on Jummah. But they don't pray for real. When Allah bears that shin and they call to prostrate, they not going to be able to, because in this life, when they fully capable of being able to prostrate to their Lord and make salat, they don't do it. So, warnings like this is more than Tawheed. and Aqidah. Heavy warning. So it continues on and say, Allah Azza wa Jal says, then leave me alone with these people who deny, who reject the Quran, who reject this message, and I shall punish them gradually from directions that they perceive not. I will destroy them in ways that they cannot comprehend. You understand? You see these warnings? Let me leave that up there. Warnings to hypocrites. And the people. Because this includes everybody, not just the people who accept Islam. But the ones who accept Islam and don't do what they're supposed to do is what? Hypocrites. So then you have to look at the hadiths that go with this, where it says the hypocrites are going to be in the lowest levels of the fire. So this is what I be trying to get people to understand, where it's saying Allah is going to destroy these people. He's going to punish them gradually. And I ain't going to take the time to look at the word gradually, but Allah's saying He's going to punish them gradually, right? You need to look at that. You need to comprehend that. Then you need to understand where it's saying destruction is going to come from them in ways that they don't comprehend. You might think you on the right path and you're not. You might be doing a lot of acts of ibadah and it don't count for you. You understand? This is ways that Allah destroy people, take your deen away from you and you don't know it, and let you wander around blindly. That's why when it speak about things, let me move this, man. So when it speak about things being cursed by Allah, punishments by Allah on this earth, you need to fear that, because you don't know what that curse look like. You don't know what that curse is going to look like. So you running around with that woman that's cursed by Allah, then turning around putting you in a position where you would die youth, but you can't even perceive how Allah is gradually punishing you or destroying you. This is in the second surah that was revealed. This is what was being taught in the beginning of the deen. That's why I explain to people, a lot of that is what we missing, because the way that we've been taught and told stuff. We think because we know how to do the 5 pillars, Salat, Zakat, fast for Ramadan, and take our Shahada and Hajj if we able, we deening. But we don't take heed to these warnings. We put ourselves in positions where we people that's cursed by Allah, where we being punished by Allah gradually, but we can't even perceive it. The fact that you can't perceive it or comprehend it is a punishment from Allah Azza wa Jal within itself. Because you don't even know Allah's putting belt to that A. This is what was being taught. This is more than what? This is more than Aqidah. And this is more than just Tawheed. Let's continue. Let's continue. Right? Now, I'm writing that down because I want y'all to write that down too. For y'all brothers, you know, who taking these notes. Let's go to ayah number 51. What we just read was 42 through 41. Right? So then when you go to ayah number 51, check this out right here. Where Allah Azza wa Jal informed the Rasul, and verily those who disbelieve, right? This include hypocrites, right? They will almost make you slip with their eyes through hatred when they hear the reminder. When they hear the Quran, when they hear you calling to this deen, when they see you living the Quran out, they gonna put what on you? The evil, envious eye. They gonna put the evil, envious eye on you. This is in the second surah that that was revealed to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So what else was discussed? The evil, envious eye. And people gonna put it on you through hatred and jealousy. See, they hate you. The hatred is there because they jealous of you. The hatred is there because you calling to what's good, you calling to what's right, and they want to remain corrupt. So they try to put the evil eye on you. Second surah. So then what do? You look at the hadiths with the evil eye. Hadith in Muslim, where it says that the Rasul said, if there's anything that can take over the decree, the qadr of Allah, replace the qadr of Allah, is the evil eye that could change it. So Allah Azza wa Jal could have the qadr could be something good for you. But this is in Quran ayahs. That's why you have Surah Al-Falaq or Falak, how you want to pronounce it, right? It's a whole dua for you to ask for protection from the evil eye. So it says, if anything that can change or overtake the qadr, the divine decree that came down from Allah Azza wa Jal, it's the evil eye. It's the envious eye. And Allah Azza wa Jal is sitting up saying, they're going to cause you to slip a little bit because of the evil eye. And they're going to call you a madman. Right? And it's all because, especially when they hear the reminders, the Quran calling to what's correct. Some Muslims hate the reminders. That's why I say the reminder only benefit the believer. If you run around and repeat the reminder but you can't act up on it, it didn't benefit you. Right? It didn't benefit you. It didn't benefit you. You understand? So what else was discussed in the beginning times? And we talking about a whole course of 13 years. This is the second surah. What else is in there? The evil eye, the envious eye. You understand? These things tie into deen and religion. So when you look at the hadiths and the Quran ayahs, so the Rasul always made dua to be protected from the evil, envious eye. From the kuffar, from the jinn, from the hypocrite Muslims. If that's more than what? That's more than Aqidah. This stuff is laying down certain things for Sharia, manner, characters, religion, the milad, deen. I'm telling y'all. So like in the video, oh man, that's an imbecile. This is the second surah. This is within the 13 years. More than Aqidah was taught. Let's go to it. Let's touch the third surah. And see, I'm just doing second surah, third surah, fourth surah. This is the beginning stages of the deen. So let's go to surah number 73, which was the third surah to be revealed. Right? Let's take a look at this. We want to go to ayat number 11 through 13, right? 11 through 13. And see, I would touch 10, but 10 was revealed in Medina. Okay? Which we'll go into certain things when we have time. So when it comes to number 11, so ayat number 11, Allah says, and leave me alone. This is the second ayat in the second surah where we looking at where Allah saying again, Leave me alone to deal with the deniers. But look what it say. Those who are in possession of the good things in life. Right? Those who live a life of luxury. Whether it's haram, you know what I'm saying? No matter how they getting it, or whatever they feel like is luxury. This is a heavy warning. Heavy warning, right? And it say, give them respite for a little while. Bear with them for just a little bit. But get up away from around them. This is Muslim. Let me put it down. Muslim. Non-Muslim. And hypocrite. And hypocrite. Now, it's not having a good life is the problem. But see, the good life that they have is making them deny things from this deen. Because the deen is getting in the way of this good life. They might want to drink and be merry. They might want to do intoxicants and be merry, as the people say it. They might want to have boyfriends and girlfriends and senseless, meaningless sex. Like, the life that people with money have. They like to blow money. They like to deal with intoxicants. And they like to fornicate and creep with the women creeping with other people's husbands and the men creeping with other people's wives and so on. The deen is getting in the way of that, and they live that good life, and that's what they focused on. So look what it say. I love this. Look what Allah say. Verily for those people, we have fetters, shackles. Right? We have things to bind them. And a raging fire. So what that's letting you know? They shackled in a raging fire. Huh? Now, being in the fire is one thing. But imagine being shackled up in the fire. So Allah Azza wa Jal is warning. Yeah, these people with that good life. Okay, you know what we got for them? And they denying aspects of these deen, this reminder, the Quran, these laws, that have these good, to follow these laws, have this type of manner and character, and be up on this religion within this deen. But look what else it say. Not only do they have shackles and raging fire, they will be given food that chokes them. Ayah number 13. So they just gonna be sitting there. So you imagine your favorite food, but you shackled up in some fire or surrounded by fire where it's so hot your skin and stuff is still just being scorched. Like how people sit on earth right now and they sit in the sun too long. Or you got a car with some leather seats and you jump in and sit on some leather seats and it burn your skin. So your skin still being cooked and stuff, but now you finally giving something to eat, and as soon as you take a bite of it, you just choking on it. You can't swallow it and you can't cough it back up. That's what the tafsirs say. You just gonna be sitting there shackled in fire, choking on food. This is what they was taught in the beginning of the deen. This is the third surah that was revealed. We only reading the first. This is 11 through 13. This is the beginning of the surah. See, they was warned about moving in a certain way, while Allah Azza wa Jal is going to put that belt on that A. This is belt to bottom. And I'm going to quit saying that because I know certain individuals who can talk to that, who he think, what type of Muslim would say belt to A. You know what I'm saying? And ain't no telling what they got going on. So I'm going to try to quit saying stuff like belt to A. You know, we don't want to offend nobody. So look, let's move on. Let's touch a couple of more, and then we're going to be done with it. We're going to go to Surah number 74, the fourth surah. I'm only touching a few things. The fourth surah. Look at this right here. Look at this right here. This laws, this matters. So Surah Mudaththir. Surah number 74, ayah number 76. And give not a thing. And don't be doing favors for people because you expecting more in return. Don't be doing stuff or giving things because you expecting more. Working your number, whether it's a program, let me get up in this program and I could do this and I could be nice. Like, let me get these kids and take them to the movies and take them out to eat. And then I could parade them around and steal money from behind them while they orphans. I'm really doing this so that I can get more. I'm doing this to look impressive with my job so I can get a raise or a promotion. There's no sincerity in that. Working your number. This is what they was told in the beginning of the deen. Don't do that. That's more than Aqidah. This is having good manners. This is having good character. This is deen. This is supposed to be a part of our way of life. This is more than Aqidah and Tawheed. This is more than Aqidah and Tawheed. Some people consider sisters, consider their marriage, they treat their marriage like a favor. Like they doing the brother a favor by marrying them so that they can get what? More. Some brothers do too, though. Not supposed to do that, Yanni. Don't be doing something for somebody, especially for another Muslim, because you trying to get more out of it. You're not doing something for them. You're doing something for you. Just like individuals, they're real tricky and sophisticated at making du'as for people with no sincerity, but their only thing is to get the angels to make the same du'a for them. So they not really making a du'a for you. They making a du'a for themselves. That's some of the same mannerism. I'm only doing that for you so that I can get more out of it. I'm making that du'a for me. We not supposed to do that, Yanni. You understand? This is the beginning of the deen. It's laying a precedence. Once you learn these things, this could take you to studying your Quran. Then what's your next step? Go and look at the hadiths on how the Rasul carried it during these situations. Let's go a little further. Where we can show like certain laws, things how it turned into Sharia. Right? These things start being part of Sharia. Because what? You can go to jail for some of these things. You can get lashes for some of these things, violating some of this stuff that we talked about. So that means what? You breaking the laws of Sharia. This stuff became Islamic law. So law was being taught, and we only in the fourth surah to be revealed. It's 114. We in the fourth surah. It's 86 surahs that were revealed in that first 13 years. What do y'all mean only Tawheed was taught? What do you mean only Aqidah was taught? Yes, it was taught, but not only that. And people who run around with that narrative think only those things can be taught. Misconception. Let's go to ayah number 40, where it refers to the people who was pious, so they will be in the gardens. And while they in the gardens with each other, they would ask each other about the Mudri moon. Man, what happened to such and such that we used to kick it with? What happened to the brother, man, he used to come to the masjid? Man, what happened to the sister we used to see at the masjid? What happened to them? But we knew they was criminals. But we ain't gonna say nothing about that. We just gonna let them be. That's between them and Allah. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna put them on. We ain't gonna help them. That's between them and Allah. My worship good. I'm straight. Right? But we might end up in a position where they asking about us. Because we be like that individual in the hadith where the destruction starts with us. But we don't know what that destruction is going to look like, because Allah Azza wa Jal says He will bring about a destruction gradually in ways that we can't even comprehend. We can't even perceive how we being destroyed. We don't know what these punishments and curses look like. Gotta be careful. This is the beginning of the deen. This was being taught before your salah, before your zakat, before your fasting and hijrah. These things is the religion and the deen. But because of the way we talk, a lot of us have a whole lot of this missing out of our deen. Yeah. A lot of us. The 72s. So look what it say. So then when we ask about them, then we'll get to see them and say, well, what caused you to enter hell? I used to see you at the masjid. I seen you at the Eid. I used to talk to you at Jumu'ah. What you doing in hell? But look what they say. We were not of those who used to offer salat. But they may had felt like they was offering salat, but it was empty. It could have been some riyah. You know what I'm saying? So they said they didn't pray. Now see, this is what's making it futuristic, because at this particular time, salah isn't a commandment yet. So keep in mind, that's the beauty of the Quran. This is letting the Rasul know what it's going to be like when we reach the day of judgment, when we reach the Barzakh. See, a lot of people can't see that in the Quran because they read their Quran like they read the Bible. This ain't no Bible, B. They treat their Islam like they treated Christianity. This ain't no Christianity, you heard? See how the Rasul is being revealed to the Rasul what it's going to be like in the Barzakh. Salah ain't even a thing yet. They going to say, we was of those who didn't make salat. Our salat didn't count for us. But they don't stop there. Nor did we feed the poor. They didn't pray, or their prayer didn't count. So we'll put that on the side note. Didn't count. Nor did they feed the poor. Or it didn't count. Their deeds became fruitless. So nor did we feed the poor. But what else? And they indulged in falsehood. Batil. They indulged in falsehood and batil. right? With with vain talkers. We sat around and talked about a bunch of foolishness and batil with vain speakers, right? We sat around and did false, fake versions of so-called Islam with goofies. You know what I'm saying? We defended Noble Drew Ali, but didn't defend Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We said that Fard Muhammad was Allah in person and went with his teachings instead of the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yeah. This not only that, but look what else it say. And we deny the day of judgment. Now, sometimes the denial is in, you don't think it's going to happen to you. I'm good. I'm straight. I ain't violating none of that. Or you run around talking about that heaven and hell is conditions on earth. You understand? And then it says, they was like this until death came. Until death came. This is in the 4th surah. But where's this conversation being had? The Barzakh. This conversation is being had in the Barzakh. The hereafter. Huh? You know what that does for me? You know what that does for me? Where this conversation being had? Huh? So that's why I say in one of my videos about the scary stuff, when you start to understand your Quran and see that certain parts of it is basically in the past tense. Allah is letting the Rasul and telling the Rasul to inform us about the conversations that's already going to be had. Allah is saying that this is what they said, not what they will say. It's in past, like it already happened. We just ain't caught up with it yet. Huh? And once again, I'm getting cold. For me, scary, B. This scary. You understand? So then it says, so no intercessions or intercessors will be of any use to them. It's over. It's over. But just look at the little bit of what they did. Didn't sincerely feed the poor. Didn't sincerely make salat. And sat around with some goofies on some falsehood and batil and have a bunch of vain, wicked, goofy conversations. Huh? But then look what it say though. Now when the Rasul is informing this to the Muslims, as it go down, now it say, now what is the matter with them that they turning away from the reminder? Muslims read these Quran ayats about Muslims who they said they didn't make salat. They said they didn't do sadaqah, zakat, they didn't feed the poor. How you read that in the Quran and still turn away from it? What, like it say, what's the matter with these people? And it says, not only that, they running away as if they're donkeys or like a spooked zebra fleeing from a hunter or a lion. That's how quick they trying to get up away. When some of the brothers I know, when they come around, that be on that hawk, or what they say around here, go upside these brothers' head with that book. Man, let me get up out of here, man, kind of brother. Getting up out of there like they being hunted. like a lion finna come take a bite out that rump. Okay? This is what was being discussed in the beginning of the thing. We missing all of that. We missing all of that. You know what I'm saying? Let me just touch a little bit more. I have to. I have to. I got it up here. This is beautiful. Now we finna go to the 52nd surah. Now this is the surah. Let me do it like this. I'm finna say it, but I want to see it for y'all. So I have some Dalil right here. What surah made the prophet hair turn gray? Right here, it come up and say, according to the sources, Surah Hud or Hud, Surah Hud, however you say it, is the surah that caused the prophet hair to turn gray. The prophet said that Surah Hud and similar surahs made him feel old. This was due to the difficult time he was experiencing and the harsh warnings in the surah, adding to his anxiety. Surah Hud, Surah Hud, however you need to say it. But look at this right here. Let's get to it. Let me put that right there. Made the prophet hair turn gray. Let's spell it that way. Made the prophet hair turn gray. Listen to this right here. These are the type of stuff that make a Muslim want to yell out loud, man. These are the type of surahs that make a Muslim want to yell out loud. You heard me? I feel like yelling right now. Let's go to ayah number 5. Let's go to ayah number 5. Look what it say. Indeed, they, the hypocrites, the disbelievers, they enfold what is in their heart, trying to hide it from you. But even when they cover themselves up with their clothes, even when they cover themselves up with their clothes, He knows what they conceal and what they reveal. Surely Allah Azza wa Jal knows best what is in their hearts, what's in their mind, their innermost secrets. What's covering themselves up in their clothes? Listen. These ayats made the Rasul hair turn gray. What's covering yourself up in your clothes, in your garments? Thobes. Abayas. Khimars. Kufis. Izars. Even if you try to throw on the garbs of the believers, even if you try to throw on some clothes that you consider modest clothing to fool the people, like I said, Allah Azza wa Jal, this is in the beginning of the deen. See, they try to hide what's in their heart, what we call harboring. Harboring them ill feelings. But they cloaked under this. Allah Azza wa Jal say, even when they try to cover themselves with their garments, with the clothes that they put on, they want to look like the believer. They want to carry themselves as the believer. They want to have that look. But Allah knows what's in their heart. You might even want to stand up on a minbar. You might even want to get a good bars. But Allah know what you're harboring. Y'all familiar with that ayat? Ayat number 5 about them hypocrites. Let's go even further. Let's tie ayat number 3 and number 11 real quick. Number 3, where it says, keep in mind, again, there's numerous surahs that say this, and commanding you, seek the forgiveness of your Lord and turn to him in repentance. Istighfar and Tawbah. 2 different things, do them both. That Allah may grant you enjoyment for a term appointed and bestow his abounding grace to every owner of grace. Right? But if you turn away, then I fear for you the torment of a great day. But when you come to number 11, ayah number 11 and tie it together, look what it say though. Look what it say. See, this is studying the Quran, not just reading it. Except for those who show patience and do righteous good deeds, these are the ones who will be blessed with forgiveness and granted the reward. So you got to have sabr, and then you got to do righteous good deeds. That's why you have to follow up those bad deeds with a good one. Zakat, 2 rakats, Tawbah, completely turn away from it. Because the ones who do these things, those are the ones that's going to be given forgiveness. Allah's giving it to us. This is more than Aqidah. This is more than Tawheed. This is deen. This religion. This is manners. This is Sharia. This was in the first 13 years. More than Tawheed and Aqidah was taught. I got to give y'all this. And then I'm going to be done. Let's look at ayat number 15. Ayat number 15. Right? Whosoever desires the life of this world and its glitters, whoever desires only this worldly life and its luxuries, we shall pay them in full for their deeds in this life, and nothing will be left out. Allah Azza wa Jal gonna let certain people achieve that dunya. This Muslims. People who put their deen on the back burner because they chasing that dunya. I'm early for work. I'm early for meetings. But I'm never early for salat. I work overtime. I work countless hours. I come to functions for free. But I never get up in the middle of the night and do overtime with my salats in Qiyam al-Layl and Tahajjud. I ain't gonna do no overtime with my fasting. Because you're not chasing this deen, you're chasing that worldly life. I take these classes. I go learn this to get this job. But when it come time for classes where you actually have to be involved, you don't want no parts of it. And this is sad. People don't want to learn the Arabic language. But let them have a job where the job say you have to learn Arabic language because we're going to be dealing with Arabic speaking people. I bet you people will learn it on the double then because their job tell them to. See, because what? They desiring this worldly life. They chasing these luxuries. But look what Allah says. But they are those for whom there is nothing in the hereafter but fire. It ain't nothing in the hereafter for them except for fire. And vain are their deeds that they did. Right? Their efforts, their deeds in this life will be fruitless, and their deeds gonna be useless. That little bit of deen that you felt like you did because you using that deen to get that worldly life means nothing. This is more than Aqidah. This is more than Tawheed. This is what the Rasul is. This is what Allah has given to the Rasul. And like Allah said, we don't care if they got on thawb, kufis, izars, suit ties, bow ties. We don't care if they got on what Noble Drew Ali and them wore or Egyptology gears. You know what I'm saying? We don't care if they got on fair. We don't care if they got on bias, kimars, tassels like the Hebrews and all that. That don't fool us. Because we know what they harboring. You understand? It's no use to them. It's no use to them. Allah giving the jewels. Let me wrap it up. Let me wrap it up, man. Ayah number 19. And for those who hinder people from Allah's path, the path of Allah, and see crookedness therein, you gonna trick people off Allah's deen so that you can steal some money from them, so that you can make some money off of them, so that you could be in the in crowd, so that you can look like a pillar in the community. You gonna corrupt these classes. You gonna corrupt this masjid. You gonna corrupt this sister. You gonna corrupt this brother because you up to no good. And all along you hindering people from the path of Allah, from this true deen. And basically you got to be a disbeliever in the hereafter. If that's what you want. You know what I'm saying? And then it says, by no means will they escape on earth, nor will they have any protectors besides Allah. Their torment will be doubled. These type of individuals, their punishment will be doubled. It will be multiplied. And they could not bear to hear the truth. The truth make them mad. The truth get them upset. Oh man, that brother always just looking for stuff. Oh man, that brother, he always want to talk about this. Won't he say a good thing? Allah pointing out the characteristics of who you gonna be dealing with, kid. Huh? They used to not see the truth. They only seen the wrongdoing. I mean, not when the truth, they think they own the truth, right? But they really own a falsehood. They can't even see that what they doing is incorrect. Because we in a society that's so corrupt, it's normal. They don't even see nothing wrong in their ways. They don't even make Tawbah. They might walk around haughty and be like, I'm just a hustler. I ain't getting over on Muslims. I'm doing business. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, that's gonna chase people off. We gotta do it this way. The truth They can't stand to hear it. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, they not going to escape on earth, so they going to get some punishment in this life too. There are those who have lost their own selves. They done lost their own selves. You understand? Certainly they are those who will be the great losers in the hereafter. Huh? And then I'm finna wrap it up. I'm finna wrap it up. But I gotta touch, I had number 77 and 79. Let me do 84 first real quick, because I didn't touch it, and then we gonna really close it, because I really want to close it on 74 and 79. 77 and 79. So in your ayat number 84 and 86, right? O people, worship Allah, because you have no other deity but Him, and give not short measures of weight. Don't cheat people in doing business. Be righteous when you're doing business with the Muslims and anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Don't short people. Don't cheat people. Do good business. And I see you in prosperity, and verily I fear for you the torment of a day of encompassing. Right? People in prosperity, but you're ripping people off. You're doing bad business. You selling fake stuff, but charging like it's real. These things is riba. Don't be ripping people off. Don't be giving short measures. What is this? This is in the law. This is Sharia, but this is how to do business. The Rasul was tired of teaching the people how to do business in the first 13 years. Once again, this is more than what? Aqidah. This is more than 5 pillars. This is more than Tawheed. Right? 85. O my people, give full measures and weight in justice, and reduce not the things that are due to other people, and do not commit mischief in the land or cause corruption. This is law. This is Sharia law. This is how to do business, right? And what is left as lawful by Allah is better for you if you are believers, and I am not a guardian over you, the Rasul. So if you're gonna be cheating people, just know Allah gonna get on that run. Allah gonna get on that run. You know what I'm saying? Gonna put belt to hay. But the point is, this is law. This is Sharia law. This is business transactions. But let me touch 77, y'all, and we're gonna close it. 77. Whew. And when our messengers, the angels, came to Lot, Lut, whatever you comfortable with, Lot, Lut, he was grieved on account of them and felt himself straitened for them. He said, this is a distressful day. I got to write. And the reason why I want to speak on this, because see, the kuffar, they study the deen. This is all from Shaitan. Shaitan know what Allah hates. So when you get into this Surah Al-Hud, it shows about the prophets that came before and what was going on with the people and what they called to, and why Allah destroyed what they had going on. And then informing him, the Rasul, you got the same type of people in your ummah. We don't care about, we know what's in their heart. We don't care about they trying to hide what's to them with the garments they put on. You know what I'm saying? They not going to fool Allah. But look at this. So, when the angels came, came to Lot, however you need to say it, Luke, came to Lot. He said, this is a distressful day. Why he say that? The angels came to the prophet Luke. May Allah be pleased with him and have mercy on him. He said this is a distressful day. We gotta put emphasis on that. This surah used to make me laugh. Right? This is a distressful day. Because these angels, they was handsome. And he was worried about the men in the city coming and trying to snatch him up and rape him. Yeah. He was worried. He was stressed. But he didn't know they was angels. He was a prophet. Right? He said, man, this is a terrible day. Because they was handsome, well put together men. So look what he said. Look as the surah comes on. This is a terrible day. And his people came rushing towards him. Right? And the men of his people, they used to do shameful deeds. They used to commit the crime of sodomy, but also rape and taking sex from men. He said, oh my people, listen what the prophet said. That you this is a type of love for Allah. These are people in this community. Some handsome men who appear to be travelers, they come to chop it up with him. They don't tell him they angels right away. He like, man, I'm stressed. These my guests. When the people see him, they finna come try to rape these people. Then the crazy part is his wife, where the angels told him what type of wife he had, she wanted to inform the community that it was some handsome men at her house, so that they could come snatch him and rape him. But the love that this man had for these guests, when the men showed up to the house to snatch the men up, he said, man, I have daughters. Take my daughters. Okay? This is the prophet. He said, oh my people, here are my daughters. They are pure for you. Marry my daughters. Fear Allah and do not disgrace me with regards to my guest. Is there not among you one person that's in a right mind? Is it not one of y'all that has some sense? Imagine that. You a prophet. And then some people come to your house as some guests. And then the men in the town, gather up because your wife done went and told them they there. And they at your door to rape the men. And you saying, come on, man, I have daughters. Marry my daughter, man. Y'all can have sex with my daughter. Don't disgrace me, man, by snatching these guests out of my house, these men, and raping them. Is all of y'all crazy? Is it not one of y'all that's not crazy? This is in the beginning of the Rasul. So these things is letting you know these is laws against homosexuality. This is in the Sharia. This is more than Aqidah. This is more than Tawheed. This is Deen. This is about having good manners, about having good characters, about following the laws of Sharia. And man, don't come rape my guest. But let's continue. My man asked the man, is all of y'all crazy? Is not one of y'all got good sense? But look what they told him. They said, surely they argue. You already know we have absolutely no desires or needs for your daughters. We don't desire your daughters. We don't want your daughters. We have no needs for your daughters. We have no needs for your daughters. And they told him, you already know what we want. You already know what we here for. Huh? You already know what we desire. Man, your daughters can kick rocks. We want the man in there. Crazy. And then he told him, man, I wish I had the strength to overpower y'all. I wish it was just some more people around me that had enough sense to support me, and we would put belt on y'all A for coming up here like this. If I just had another person that was just a couple of people as thorough as me, we'll put some belt on y'all A. Right? So then he said, the angel said, oh Luke, verily we are messengers from your Lord. They ain't gonna be able to reach us. They ain't gonna be able to touch us. You know what I'm saying? Gather up your family and get up out of here, cause we finna put an end to this. But your wife ain't gonna make it. Your wife ain't gonna make it, B. You know what I'm saying? Get up out of here. We finna flip this whole city upside down. You get on up out of here. Because this whole city is full of filth. Now, why am I mentioning that? It's showing the importance of Sharia. And because it do make me laugh. Like, they was crazy, man. They told the prophet, keep in mind, listen to that. He was the prophet. They told the prophet, man, hey, man, your daughters mean nothing to us. We don't want them. We don't desire them. We don't even need them. We came for them men you got in there. Hey, man, them people was crazy. Lot looked at them people and said, man, is all of y'all crazy? It ain't not one male around y'all in their right mind. So look, this whole city, the whole city was destroyed. Over homosexuality. Right? So when you see people who study these things and they know that this is the truth, they know this is going to bring the anger of Allah. What's been being pushed in America about the last 8 years? Homosexuality. But the crazy part is who they pushing it onto. The children. They teaching the kids to be gay. Right in school. Right now the kids going to school and learning how to be gay. What's going to be the outcome of this? Allah Azza wa Jal, that wrath is going to come down. If this don't get turned around, if nothing is get done about this, just like with where people come to the house of the prophet, a prophet of Allah, and all the men in the city come around and gather up and come to the house of the prophet of Allah and say, hey man, we don't want to hear that stuff about your daughters. We desire the men you got in there. That's what we here for. Allah had the angels flip it upside down and destroy everything moving. So now you got people, wicked people, who under the waswas and the guise of Shaitan, Iblis, with his rejected, filthy, funky, deceitful self. And now they pushing homosexuality, changing the bathrooms where your daughter might go into a public restroom at Walmart and it might be a grown man in a dress in there using the bathroom. Your daughter might go to school and be using the bathroom with another little boy who says he identifies as a girl. Yeah. Even now they can't even call people by their genders at school anymore. These not little boys, these not little girls. And this is like law. Teachers and stuff can get fired for calling a boy and a girl a girl. Homosexuality is being pushed on a major level in America. It ain't a religion that came from Allah Azza wa Jal that make it okay. I'm looking at, and I'm finna close it, but I'm looking at two pastors. One calling himself a deacon, I think his name is Keith McQueen, and Pastor Jennings. I was just looking at this a couple of days ago. Keith McQueen said that David and Joshua, the King David and Joshua, Jason, somebody else in their Bible said that they was, according to the Bible, that they was homosexual lovers. And said that Ruth and Anna, I think it was Anna, but they were, and this is on YouTube, like they really into it. And they trying to fly this man out so they can have this debate, but it's really going to turn into some big money scam. Because now they're going to be able to pack out an arena and sell tickets. The people coming to watch them debate how he says the Bible said that King David and Joshua, somebody with a J, they was the first homosexual lovers in the Bible. And he say he got some proof in the Bible. He say he could prove it. And that Ruth and Ann were they was the first lesbian couples according to the Bible. So now they changing up the scriptures. One of the gay Muslim imam had started a masjid. He was the first one to get these masjid, and the people supported him, helping to get a building. And I'm talking about this was in like maybe 2008, 9. This dude said that the Quran doesn't say that you can't have sex with the same sex. When it says, he said the Quran ayats, when it referred to sodomy, it means rape. So men can have sex with men in a butt, but you can't take it. So with their masjid, they have same-sex marriages, okay? And they line up in a prayer line with a man, woman, man, woman, man, woman, because the women don't desire men and the men don't desire women, so they don't line up the men together because they might desire each other, and they don't line up the women together. So their prayer line is man, woman, man, woman, man, woman. And sometimes they have a woman in front leading the salah. These videos is on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? And he was an African American guy, and talking about, you know, how he was gay and this and that, and then a Muslim convinced him, you know, about Islam, and he took his shahada, and, you know, he was like, but, you know, I have a desire for men. And dude just told him, you know, as long as you don't act up on it, you know what I'm saying? keep making dua to change. But instead, he changed the Quran and said, oh no, this is just referring to sodomy as rape. So according to Islam, we can have sex with each other. The same thing this gay pastor, the Keith McQueen dude, is doing, and they want to argue it. But when you have that eye and that farsightedness, Shaitan is tricking America into becoming just like the people of Lut. All these celebrities, all this homosexuality for male and female being pushed. A day is gonna come where the angel's gonna come flip this thing upside down. We can't even perceive the type of punishments and destruction that's gonna be going on. Muslims better hold on to that deen, man. You better go learn it. So, alhamdulillah, man, inshallah, man, the people can learn to benefit this and look at how the Quran was revealed. We only touched the second, third, and fourth, the first, second, third, and fourth surahs ever revealed, and then the 52nd, which is the surah that made the Rasul hair turn gray, because it showed what the prophets was going through and the way that Allah decided to start destroying things. And we're going to face the same challenges. And even if we Muslims, so we might be Muslims, but we're in a society where we're not trying to become part of the government. We're not trying to affect. We sitting down and being convinced that voting is for the Taghut, right? We don't do the Taghut. We not gonna vote. It don't change. It's rigged. But let's say, for instance, if we did go and vote, then these people who got voted into office that chose to make our schools homosexual agenda type school, we could have made a difference where they never got voted into office. And I'm talking about understanding for real, and not all of this, everybody want to be so conscious and rhetoric. Oh, well, people want to vote for Kamala because she black and they don't understand no politics and this and that. But then if you say to them, okay, so what exactly is Donald Trump politics going to do? You know what I'm saying? Is he that much better than her? I mean, I understand about having a female ruler and what's going to happen to the society, but I'm saying people pushing all this rhetoric like they deep into politics, but politically, she might actually be better than Trump. Politically, I mean, it's over with, but I'm just saying we could have affected some change with this homosexuality. The people had to get into office in order to change the bathroom where grown men could be in there trying to urinate with a dress on while little girls in there. Whether it was a Democrat that put that people in, that came up with it, or a Republican, we could have affected the change of those people who got in office and did that. But then we want to sit around and deal with the society that we ain't doing nothing to try to change. Because we've been reduced to oppression. Because we don't understand our deen and how to implement it. It's just a bunch of lip service. But yeah, man, I got y'all. So assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My apologies for keep doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because it don't mean what it mean. But anyway, any mistakes I made came from myself and the shaitan. Anything I said that was correct came from Allah Azza wa Jal. Al Muqtadir.